How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Patriot DIY channel. If you saw our last video, we showed you how to build these raised garden beds. So in this video, we're going to show you the cheapest and easiest way to fill it. All right, guys, now this bed is 8 foot long, 4 foot wide, and 26 inches deep. And if you were to try to fill this entire thing with premium gardening soil, that would cost you a whole lot of money. But the good news is you don't have to do that. Now, first I want to say I am not a professional gardener. I don't know everything there is to know about gardening, but I do know enough to be dangerous. So there is a method of gardening we're going to talk about today that's called hugelkultur. And basically what that is a method where you layer your soil with different things. So maybe on the bottom you start out with some cardboard and then some branches and logs and sticks and things like that just to fill some area. Then you can put in some other organic matter, grass clippings, yard waste, things like that. And then you come in the top, your last 16 to 12 inches or so, and put in your good garden soil. Now this method can do a lot for improving your soil as those things down under the surface start to break down over time. They're just going to release nutrients into the soil and make your soil even better. But for our purposes today, it's a great way to fill a tall garden bed like this without having to spend a ton of money. So let's take a step back and I'll show you what I did to fill this bed. Now, since our raised bed is so tall, what we're going to try to do is to fill the lower half of our garden bed with some other materials that'll basically just take up space, but will eventually break down over time. So I just happen to have a bunch of branches and limbs and some large stumps left over from other projects in the fall. And so I'm going to be using these to put down into the bottom of our bed. And once I've got some of my smaller sticks and branches in there, I'm going to split up some of these large stumps that I had laying around, and we're going to be using those to put in on top of our other branches. All right, so this is what we have so far. We got both boxes filled up with a bunch of brush and logs and stuff. About halfway, I'd say. And that ought to pack down even better once we get some dirt in there. Some other things you can work down into there is maybe a bottom layer of cardboard. That's also going to help prevent weeds and things like that from working their way up. Another thing you can throw in on top of your branches and stuff would be yard waste, like leaves, grass clippings, things like that. And really any other organic matter that you want to work in there. Now, we're not trying to make a compost pile, but the process is fairly similar. You just want to think about it like layering. Once I feel like I have enough of the branches and leaves in, I'm going to go back. I'm going to add in just some regular dirt from on my property. Now, I'm going to be using my tractor to kind of skim some of this off the top of my field. But if you're not able to do that, you could purchase some regular topsoil to put in here. That's going to be a whole lot cheaper than your garden soil, and that's going to do a great job of just filling in this space. Once our regular topsoil is in, we're just going to rake this around and try to fill in any holes or gaps created by those sticks and logs underneath. Now I'm going to get in here and kind of kick it around to make sure I filled all those areas and actually compact it down. Now, I definitely wouldn't want to pack down my top layer of soil, but because we're talking about the lower layer and we do want to kind of work that dirt down into the gaps around those sticks and limbs and things like that, it's okay to get in there and really tamp it down and work it around into those areas. Now we're ready to start putting in our good garden soil. And there are a lot of different types of garden soil, and I'm sure you experienced gardeners probably have your favorite, but really you can come up with whatever you want to do. You can just buy all the same garden soil, or you can come up with some type of mixture, whatever works for you. But what I'm going to be using is a mixture of this Black Cow compost manure, some generic garden soil, and then finally some organic raised bed garden soil. So I'm just going to start dumping these in, kind of alternating between the different types and spreading it around to mix it together and fill the space. As I'm doing this, I'm also gonna make sure I get in there and break up any big clumps or anything like that that might be in the soil. And I'm going back and forth between the generic garden soil and the manure and mixing that in, and I'm saving that really good raised bed soil for the top layer. I'm also going to be sprinkling in some of these wood ashes from my wood stove in the shop. Wood ashes or potash can be great for your garden soil and help you produce some big, beautiful vegetables. So I'm not putting a whole bunch of this, I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it around before I put in my raised bed soil. And finally, for the top few inches of our bed, I'm going to put in that organic raised bed soil. Again, just kind of working it around with mixing it in and spreading it around evenly. And we are done, guys. I think it looks great, and I can't wait to get the kids and come out here and plant our vegetables. All right, guys, that is how to fill your garden bed cheap and easy while still having really good soil for your plants to grow. Ultimately, the process kind of works like composting, where your lower layers are over time eventually going to break down and add more nutrients to the soil. So I hope this video helped you out, guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And again, if you want to build a raised bed like the one we have here, I've done a full video. I also have plans for how to build it linked in the description below if you want to get those. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and get to planting.